Today we are taking a look at Suigintou from the TV anime Rozen Maiden. This is the Suigintou figure in the Trio-Try-iT figure line by FuRyu. Rozen Maiden is a series centered on living dolls and the conflicts that develop between them. Within that story, Suigintou is one of the most prominent dolls and has a particularly strong presence among the characters. That intense and commanding presence gives her a very distinct position in the series. Today's highlights for this figure are the gothic lolita-style dress, the doll joints carefully sculpted beneath the skirt, and the pose that connects the arms, wings, dress, and boots. The first highlight is the gothic lolita-style dress. The black bodice is layered with a white chest panel, black ribbons, rose decorations, and repeated white details around the neckline. The sleeves move from rounded shoulders into narrow black sections before ending in several layers of white frills, while the lower half combines a wide white skirt with long pointed black panels and thin bands crossing over the front. These repeated black and white transitions allow the dress to remain visually detailed from the chest all the way down to the hem. The second highlight is the doll joints beneath the skirt. The curved division across the front of each knee and the circular recessed connection at the back clearly separate the thighs from the lower legs. Suigintou and the other characters are dolls, and the figure reflects that setting by including the jointed construction even in an area that is mostly covered by the dress. The white frills and black boots continue directly below the joints, connecting this mechanical doll detail naturally with the rest of the outfit. The third highlight is the pose. One arm reaches toward the front while the other extends toward the outside of the body, creating a clear difference in depth between the hands. The black wings spread behind the shoulders and continue the movement outward, while the white skirt and pointed black panels open broadly below them. One boot is placed farther forward than the other, completing a flowing line from the face and hands through the wings and dress to the feet. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The head is built around a calm expression, with the facial details establishing the mood before the hair and headdress expand the design around it. The face narrows gently from the cheeks toward the chin, and the small closed mouth curves slightly upward. Her red eyes extend horizontally beneath the darker upper eyelid lines, with different shades of red and white highlights arranged inside the irises. The thin eyebrows appear through the gaps in the bangs, and their nearly level placement works with the slightly lowered gaze to create a quiet and composed appearance. The bangs cover the upper part of the forehead in a thick, evenly cut row. Each section is separated individually, with the tips descending close to the eyebrows. Longer strands frame the outside of the face, while thinner inner sections pass in front of the cheeks and overlap additional layers, continuing toward the chin. The hair falls smoothly from the crown and extends beyond the shoulders. It separates into numerous narrow sections near the lower half, with each strand ending in a pointed tip above the waist. The outer strands spread slightly away from the back, while the inner sections overlap the front of the black wings. A frilled headdress follows the rounded shape of the top of the head. Repeated folds run across its upper surface, while a dark band and a row of small, rounded sections form separate layers along the lower edge. A black rose and ribbon are attached near the upper front area. Additional black ribbons extend from the outer sides of the head, and a larger ribbon made from several overlapping loops is secured at the back, with its long ends descending over the hair. The upper body is arranged around a mostly forward-facing torso, while the two arms move in different directions. One arm reaches toward the front and angles slightly downward from the elbow. The other extends toward the outside of the body, with the hand held lower and the fingers stretched outward. Both hands have individually separated fingers. At the neck, a black ribbon overlaps the upper edge of the white chest panel. Its knot and pointed ends sit over the white surface, while a smaller black ribbon with a rose at its center is attached separately in the middle. Fine vertical folds run through the panel, and repeated white details along the outer edge divide it from the black bodice. The bodice narrows toward the waist before separating into two pointed sections over the white fabric beneath. The shoulders begin with rounded puffed sleeves before changing into narrow sleeves. Black ribbons are attached around the upper arms, with more ribbons near the cuffs. Several layers of white frills spread beneath the sleeves and extend around the wrists. Behind the body, the black wings are formed from shorter feathers near the center and longer feathers toward the outside. The upper feathers pass behind the shoulders, while the lower feathers continue behind the sleeves and hair. The lower half is centered around a wide white skirt layered with pointed black outer panels and narrow black bands. The thin bands cross diagonally between the inner edges of the panels, dividing the front of the skirt into several sections. The crossings sit closer together near the waist and spread farther apart toward the hem. The white skirt expands outward with deep vertical folds continuing to the lower edge. The black panels narrow into sharp points as they overlap the white skirt. At the back, the panels separate into several pointed sections, while a large black ribbon overlaps the layers below. White drawers are visible beneath the skirt, with pale frills and a thin black line around their rounded edges. Curved divisions run across the front of the knees, while circular recessed areas and rounded connections appear at the back. These details separate the thighs from the lower legs and show the jointed construction of a doll. Since Suigintou and the other characters are dolls, including these joints beneath the dress shows careful attention to the setting. White frills circle the legs below the joints and lead into black boots. The boots narrow at the ankles and end in rounded toes and low heels. A black ribbon and rose decorate the front of each ankle on both boots. This figure is approximately 18 centimeters tall, that's about 7.1 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can, that's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Suigintou by FuRyu stands out because this figure combines a calm expression, layered silver hair, a gothic lolita-style dress, black wings, and a pose that guides the eye naturally across the whole piece. The face leaves a quiet first impression. The red eyes sit beneath darker upper eyelid lines. The gaze is slightly lowered, and the small closed mouth curves gently upward. The thin eyebrows remain visible through the bangs and help maintain that composed expression. The hair strengthens that presentation very effectively. The bangs are divided into thick sections across the forehead, while longer inner and outer strands overlap around the cheeks. The hair at the back continues beyond the shoulders before separating into numerous pointed ends. The frilled headdress, black rose, side ribbons, and larger ribbon at the back create several clear layers around the head without hiding the silver hair. The upper body works well because the outfit layout and the pose support each other closely. The black neck ribbon overlaps the white chest panel, while the separate rose decoration creates another focal point at its center. The black bodice narrows toward the waist, and the rounded shoulders lead into narrow sleeves finished with ribbons and layered white frills. One arm reaches forward while the other opens outward, and the black wings continue those lines behind the body. The lower body gives the figure much of its visual presence. The wide white skirt is covered by pointed black panels, while narrow black bands cross over the front and divide the white surface into several sections. Beneath the skirt, the white drawers lead into the curved knee divisions and circular connecting sections that identify the legs as doll parts. Because Suigintou and the other characters are dolls, including those joints beneath the dress, shows how carefully the figure carries details from the series into the smaller areas. The white frills then connect the joints to the black boots, which finish with rounded toes, low heels, and rose decorations at the ankles. What makes the figure especially effective is the way all of these elements connect. The eye can move from the face through the chest, outward across the arms and wings, and then down through the wide skirt to the boots without feeling stuck. Because of that, fans of Rozen Maiden or Suigintou will likely enjoy this piece very much. Collectors who like gothic lolita-style dresses, carefully included doll details, and poses with a wide flowing silhouette should find it a very satisfying addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.